Hello guys, this is Emma from Mind Magics, and I welcome you all to this special session in which our trainer will explain everything you need to know about the ServiceNow. In this video, let us look at the topics we will cover. We shall start with the configuration management and continue with key definitions. Asset and CI. Asset versus CI. Model and model categories. Asset types. CI relationship. Service catalog. Request fulfillment. Request fulfillment lifecycle. Request item. Request management data structure. Knowledge management. Key roles. Knowledge management lifecycle. Knowledge data structure. Knowledge internationalization. Service level management. SLA, and finally about response and resolutions SLA. Please check the caption to jump between the topics. If you are new to the Mind Magics channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get quick updates about the new tech tutorials, free webinars, and career-enhancing shots from working professionals. Like and share the video with your friends and IT career aspirants. Without any further delay, let's start the video.
So the first topic what we are starting is with configuration management. Now, configuration management is the process of establishing and maintaining the reliable information of managed IT services. By IT services, it basically means it could be IT services, it could be applications, it could be infrastructure components. I will give you one simple example. For example, in your company, you have a meeting room. Okay, and you have inside the meeting you have a projector, you have a computer, a desktop attached to it, and you would have a desk phone attached to it. So whatever you're seeing on so whatever is inside the meeting room and the meeting room can be taken as a configuration item, and those things has to be managed somewhere. So the infrastructure has to be maintained somewhere. The IT services basically means how many routers you have in your company, how many servers you have in your company, and many other things has to be managed somewhere, right? And you have multiple applications, like you would have, for example, ServiceNow itself is a tool, and you have to buy some licenses for it. So you should have a repository where you will say that, you know what, this your company has purchased so and so amount of licenses of ServiceNow, and similarly you would have other licenses for other applications as such. So these all things has to be maintained somewhere. The life cycle has to be maintained somewhere. Basically it means that the license or the warranty period of a product would be ending somewhere very nearby or very far away. So this has to be maintained somewhere, and that has to be in one system rather than having it in multiple places. So previously companies used to have their own in-house applications written for this, and sometimes it used to be very much cumbersome, and it used to never be in one place, because after you have your CI's place, you have your IT services place. For example, if a router is down, then you have to raise an incident or a problem or a change in a different tool altogether. Maybe it could be BMC Remedy or any other tool as such. BMC Remedy also has CMDB, but it was in a very basic way. So now ServiceNow has everything in one tool itself. So you will have your CIs, the configuration items, maintained inside the ServiceNow tool itself. And if something is failing, or if something is going for a maintenance or anything, you can inform your customers and users instantaneously from that tool itself. Or if something is failing, a end user can actually raise an incident very easily in the same tool, and it can be managed in the same tool itself. So that's the advantage of using ServiceNow, and that's what configuration management is. Okay, so configuration management for process is basically a process of how you are maintaining your whole life cycle of the IT services, applications, and infrastructure components of your company. Okay, so process focuses on the creation and maintenance and use of CI. CI basically is either an IT service or application or an infrastructure, okay? And their attributes and their relationships. So basically relationship means which particular IT services or infrastructure components are tied together, okay? We'll go in details about attributes and a relationship in the next few slides, but this is what configuration management is. Okay. Now, these are I'll be going through few key definitions of configuration management. Okay. The first thing is configuration item. So configuration item is a service asset that needs to be managed. Okay. So that is an asset. Whenever we say asset, it's basically a financial component is added to it, but it's usually not required. The CI need not be a financial component. It could be a non-financial component also, which is useful for your organization to operate as such. Okay, so that has to be managed in somewhere, right, to deliver a service. So this management is done under configuration management. So CI is that. Okay, the scope of what constitutes a CI varies from organization and environments, but should be aligned with the business requirements. So basically anything which is advantageous to your business as an organization. Okay, anything which will add a value add to the organization is treated as a configuration item. Okay, as a sub which will be helping you to achieve a service. For example, if you want to have incident management, you want you have an application, it should run properly, and you need to a way to have an incident created. So for that, you should have a ServiceNow tool as such. And for ServiceNow tool, you need to have licenses, and you have to achieve the license, purchase licenses. So these all things has to be tracked somewhere, because you're providing a service to an end user at the end. Okay. Okay. So these are treated as CI. I'll be explaining in detail the CIs also in the next coming slides. Okay. Now the next one is, which is very important, is configuration management database, which is CMDB in short. Okay. So CMDB is a place where all the configurations items are stored, and all the relationships are like linked together, and it will be shown in a better way in CMDB itself. Okay, so it's a database where the configuration information of managed assets is stored, or the configuration items are stored. The CMDB supports the delivery of services by maintaining accurate and reliable information on IT assets. So IT services or applications, etc., the configuration items. So it has to keep up-to-date information and accurate information, and that is achieved by either discovering the items, or either using third-party tools in which they are feeding it from the backend, from the data sources or anything, or manually maintaining the whole thing. Okay, so it can be done in multiple ways. At the end, CMDB is a place where all the information of your IT assets should be accurate and should be reliable. From there itself, all the other ITSM components use it. Okay, it could be IT incident management, it could be problem management, change management, any other thing. Okay, let's go for the next slide. Now let's see the difference between assert and CI. I'll just explain the assert, and I will say for examples, and in the next slide we will be actually seeing the difference between assert and CI. Okay, so assert, there is whatever assert we are saying, right? The life cycle of assert is maintained in assert management. It's a different topic altogether, but basically assert management, assert life cycle starts with requesting an assert. And assert could be like, in your project, maybe few of the on-call guys need a mobile phone which will be available for them to be available 24/7 or something like that. So yeah, or it could be a desk phone which is required for one of you. So that is an assert as such. Okay, for the company, that's a company assert as such. It cannot be a personal assert. So first thing is, we have to request for it. We can say that, in our project we need 4 laptops or something like that. So we have requested, and then after the approvals and everything, it will be procured in the sense you got it as such. You have got the approvals and everything, and then it is like we have to deploy it. Basically, there could be some installations, or we have to keep the laptop ready or something like that, and then it will be an operational environment, and it could be placed in the CMDB table saying that, what, we have purchased 4 laptops and these are the serial numbers of the laptops and maybe the warranty, when it will expire, and all the information should be there in CMDB so that it could be managed in one place itself. And once the laptop is maybe it can be disposed or retired, it will just go to the next stage as retired or disposed. Okay, this is the life cycle of asset. Now, an IT asset can become a CI. So whatever server asserts are there, right? Whatever servers company purchases, it can be treated as a CI, a configuration item, and all the attributes and everything can be saved in CI, because it's a service what a company is providing, what an organization is providing. That server has to be active so that the applications which is relying on the server can run and function. So it's a service which is provided by the organization, and that's why it can be treated as a CI. Sometimes an IT asset may not be treated as a CI, a configuration item. When is it? When, for example, I gave you the example of a mobile phone for a on-call person or something. So the mobile phone changes may not be required to control, hence it would not be a CI. So whatever is happening inside the mobile phone, and maybe you're changing the mobile phone configuration, or maybe you're installing some apps or whatever. So that cannot be treated as a CI, and it will not be tracked or it need not be tracked in the CMDB life cycle or in CMDB as such. Okay. Now a CI might not become an IT asset. Sometimes a CI is not an IT asset. The best example is a process guide documentation. For example, you have developed an application and you are giving how the whole application runs, and you have given a process guide for it or anything. Or you have a team wherein you're working in a safe methodology and you have a process guide for it. So these things cannot be treated as a IT assert as such. So just because it doesn't have a financial value, and hence it will not be tracked in IT asset management as such. Okay, so it is not needed that CI and IT asset are same. In this way, it could be a different altogether. Okay, it cannot be classified as same. Okay, it could be similar for that matter. Okay, so let's go for the difference. Assert versus CI. Now, assert, as I said you, that it tracks the financial aspects of the item, like the purchase, the cost, the invoice, when will it be deprecated and everything. So that is the financial aspects, and that is what an assert is all about. When you say assert, it usually links to the financial aspects, right? Now here we also will deal with contracts, the maintenance, what is the maintenance, SLA cycles, everything, and warranty. If you don't understand what SLA is, we will be covering that topic also in this tutorial itself. Okay, so maintenance, warranty, and licensing, which is tied to the item, everything will be tracked as an assert. So if you have a contract, if you have warranty, if you have a licensing, and if there is a maintenance cycle which you have agreed upon for that item, then it is treated as an asset. Okay. Now, as I said, that inventory has to be done, and invoices will be tracked in the inventory tracking. So it has to be having an inventory tracking. The document, the status of the item, build and decommission cycle status, these all things has to be noted down somewhere, and that somewhere is CMDB and asset management in combination. Okay. Now, configuration item. Configuration item records the technical attributes of the item. For example, you have a laptop which is purchased. What is the serial number of the laptop? What is the configuration of the laptop? These all things will be treated as the technical attributes of the configuration item. Relationship to the other configuration item. For example, you have a mouse or you have a headphone associated with that laptop as an accessory. So that is a relationship between the accessory and the laptop, and that could be noted down in your configuration item. Now, configuration items are associated with an incident, problem, change, or any task for that matter. That means that if there is something down, maybe my mouse is not working, then what will I do? Usually you'll raise an incident or you'll raise a problem, etc. Right? So in that way, we can associate the configuration item with an incident, problem, or a change as such. Okay. So before we go to the next slide, I would like to show you the asserts. Okay. Okay. So if you see below, there is this assert module. If you say all asserts, right? So you will see that there is an assert tag and model category. I will describe more about model category and everything. So asserts are stored in the asserts table as such. Okay. And when we are talking about CIs, so CIs, if you want to see the CIs, what you have to do is you have to first type CI class manager. Okay. When you click on CI class manager, you will have the whole model of it, like the whole hierarchy of it. Okay, so if you click on hierarchy as such, it will be showing you how many configuration items are there. Out in this instance, you will have 2798 configuration items, and it will say what kind of configuration items are there and how many configuration items are there. For example, I have 16 applications, and as I said, the 16 applications, again, applications can be treated as a configuration item. So there are .NET applications, there are agility process, there are BizTalk applications, there are different applications altogether. Okay, then you have clusters, you have cluster nodes. These are the hardware kind of configuration items. You have data centers, you have database catalogs, and many other things for that matter. Okay, so if you want to see the CMDB table, so CMDB table's name is CMDB underscore. You can go for CMDB dashboards and etc. and check it out. But the table name is CMDB underscore CI dot list. Okay, if you type dot list, then all the configuration items, whatever is present in this particular system, that is 2798, are visible here. Okay, we'll see in detail one by one. Okay, so that is assert NCI as such. Okay. So as I said you that CIs can be of different types. It could be in hardware, it could be a software, it could be documents, it could be users. So those are derived by the class, if you can see here. Yeah. So if I group by the class, I think there's so many classes, and how the classes are determined is, I'll just ungroup it one second. Yeah, I'll just ungroup it. Just open the first one, maybe the Lenovo one. Okay, so basically the class is determined by it's a dynamic filter which is written behind, okay, behind the scenes. It'll find out what kind of um, thing it is. For example, if I'm saying CMDB, the Linux server. So Linux server is basically a server, and then the server extending from computer, the computer extends to the hardware. So computer is at the end, a hardware kind of a concept. Okay. So this particular CI is an hardware type. Okay. Okay. So now I was saying that there is a relationship which we can see. So the relationships can be seen by clicking on this. Okay, if you click on this is called show dependency view. You will see the relationships what this particular CI has with the other CIs, if it has any. Okay, let's click it and see if we have any. Okay, this particular thing is not linked with anything. Are you seeing this is a computer which is not linked to anything, which is very rare, but it's just an example. This is an out of box data, so it doesn't have anything. Okay. Let me see something which could have something. Let me group by class again. And let's see the cluster. Maybe cluster has something. No. So I'm just checking out few classes. Okay, if you can see, I'm just going through a few classes just to check if I have something somewhere. I can find some dependency view somewhere. No, I'm not finding any. Let me see whether we have any hardware as such. Software. This. There are few things where there will not be any dependency maps. If you're seeing out here, it'll just be that it's installed on what kind of servers and everything, whether the software has a license or not. There are different related lists and related links what you can find out. Okay. Okay. Okay, this one has many. This is a AIX server. And if you can see out here itself, you can see that there are many relationships as such. Okay, if I click on it, if I click on dependency view, it will be seen much properly. But even out here, you can see that there are a few relationships which is called as depends on. Basically, let's click on the dependency view and you'll be able to see it much beautifully. Okay, so if you can see here, see, it will show you what is the type and who is depending on whom. So service SAP controlling is dependent on this Windows server, and it is doing a load balancing by supporting to this Windows server also. Okay. Now these two Windows servers are handling these three web servers. So what is the relationship with them? They are exchanging the data with. So they are exchanging data with this particular web servers, and both of them are sharing it with all these three. That is that, again, the load balancing stuff, right? And at the end, these three web servers are depending on or used by these all servers. When you click here, right, it says depends on and used by. So basically, AIX server, it's a web server, depends on AIX server, and AIX server is used by web servers above. Okay, so the AIX server is used by these servers, and a web service depends on AIX server. So this is how you have to read the relationship as such. Okay, the first one, the first block that is depends on is basically for the top to bottom approach, and whatever you're seeing after that used or by is basically from top to bottom. The AIX server is used by the web server. Okay, now again it is having relationship with the database also. Again, AIX server is depending on the database SAP ORA1, and database SAP ORA1, SAP ORA1 is actually used by the AIX server. Okay. So this is how the dependency map looks like, and this is how the relationships, you can see it in a much better way. Okay. You can get all those things, all the information out here also, if you can just see here. You have all the information out here. But if you want to have a pictorial representation, then you can just click it out here. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to the key definition. So we have defined what class is, right? Now we'll go for the category. Now, category is again a dynamic category. What we can find out, it can be in hardware. It could, the category is hardware, and the subcategory is the computer, as we discussed before. Okay. Okay. The model and model categories comes under assert. Okay. It doesn't come under CI as such. So you can match the model categories to CI classes. Basically, it's like the computer, hardware, etc., etc. If you create a CI of a particular type, then ServiceNow knows to create a corresponding assert of the type identified. Okay, when you create an assert, you will identify the model category so that ServiceNow can correspond it to the corresponding CI. Now, CI classes have one-to-one relationship with the model category. So each CI class should have its own model category class, kind of a thing. Okay. Okay, so models. Models are specific versions and various configurations of an assert. I will open an assert and I will show you how the assert looks like and how the model and model categories looks like. So models are used to manage and track the asserts through various ServiceNow platform asset applications. Okay. That includes the product catalog, asset management, and procurement. We have discussed about the product procurement. Product cataloging is altogether a different topic, wherein you have to catalog the products, wherein you have to give the details of the products and basically products in the sense it will deal with asserts as such. Okay. And then there's asset management. Whatever you're talking about as model and model categories are associated with asset management. Okay. So when you go for asserts, okay, I'll just click it in the new tab. Yeah. Okay. So if you can see the model category, okay, I'll just group by the model category. As we had in our CI, the CMDB CI, we had database, Linux servers, we had AI server, which we saw in detail. Similarly, we have model category for the asserts also. And these are the model categories, which is pretty similar to what we have in our CMDB CI also. Okay, let me open one of the asserts. Let me open the AIX server itself. So if we can see here, this particular hardware assert is linked with one of the CIs, and they have given the CI details here. If you click on I, you can preview the whole thing. Okay, so this is a CMDB CI reference, CMDB tables reference basically, and this is the model category, and this is the model. Okay, so let me go back. So as we said, the model category is matched up to the CI. Okay, so this particular configuration item is a AIX server, so therefore this particular model category is AI server. Okay, and model is IBM Power this much. Okay, they have given the model number, basically model name, model number, what it could be anything for that matter. Okay, it will have the manufacturer name, it will have the name of the product as such. Okay, assert will have many other things. It will have the states, and it will have the location, and the company are very important for CMDB and for asset management both. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's go forward. Okay, here I have given an example of model category. The model category could be computer and server, and the model is this particular model. So it can be linked to these two. And then you will have an assert and you have a configuration item. Similarly, the way we have seen out here in the example. Okay. Now we have also discussed about the asset classes. There could be multiple asset classes or asset types. The four important ones are hardware, software, license, and consumables. If I'll go back, and if you see here, we'll have consumable out here, right? That means I'll open one of the consumable. We open the record here. Okay, it is consumed, and the consumable is basically a LED TV or something. Okay, and the expense line is also given, where it's it consumed to, and how much is the cost, and everything is given out here. This is a consumable example. Okay, so we have four kind of classes, that is hardware, software, license, and consumer. These general classes, software and license are in, there's a comma in between, guys. These general classes can be used to manage most assets, but there are multiple classes. As you can see here, there's just not these four, but somehow it will be added to that particular four categories itself. For example, AI server can be added to a hardware uh, as a type or something. So they are branched in multiple ways, but these are the four major default classes what you can think of as an asset. Okay, these general classes can be used to manage most assets. Creating a new asset class requires defining a new table, and creating corresponding applications and modules. Okay, we have in detail went to the CI relationships by clicking on dependency map and seeing the whole pictorial diagram. So relationship is basically the dependency of what one CI has to another CI. It's not just not dependency, but how are those two related with each other? And now each CI can have multiple CIs relationships, multiple relationships, and the branching can be in multiple ways. Okay, I've just given an example, just written the example, but we have seen the dependency view out here, right? Let me expand it. Okay, okay, the CMDB demo is has already been done. I have shown you what exactly is the dependency view, how the CMDB looks like, how the CMDB table looks like. So we have already covered it. Let's go to the next slide. And with that, we have completed the CMDB topic as such. I'll just close it. This is very basics what we have covered. We can go in depth if you avail the in future few of the tutorials or few of the sessions from MindMagics. Yeah. Oops, I closed it. Just give me a second. Yeah. Okay. So the next topic is service catalog or request management. Basically, these two comes in hand, the request management and service catalog. Okay. So first we will discuss about service catalogs. So service catalog is a database which lists all the IT services offered by the business. So this database is having all the IT services which is offered to the business for the end users, so that that can be referred and used by the end users or the business in the portal way. Okay, it's in a much better online shopping experience kind of a thing. Okay, so it allows the users to browse or search the offerings what the business is providing as such, and request them in the same manner as an online shopping experience. Okay, so if your company is offering a laptop, okay, to be purchased, and with that you will have some accessories associated with it, associated with it, then that can be done by the service catalog as such. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. I will define the key definitions of what we can use in the request management and catalog items as such. service catalog as such. Okay, the first one is a catalog. Catalog is made up of multiple catalog items. You can think of it as like you're ordering a lap, and then a laptop can be a catalog item. Okay, so a catalog can be a product or a ask for any services also to the business, whatever your type is or whatever your company is offering as such. Now there's a third type, which is record producer. So basically a catalog can be catalog items, or it could be a record, or it could be an order item as such. Okay, so is a product or a service, just one product or a service. Okay, now record producer is enabling us as a business user to create a record directly service catalog. For example, if you have if a customer felt that, or end user felt that, you know what, this particular server or this particular email, his email, her email is not working, then they can raise an instance from service catalog itself, and automatically in the backend in the service now an incident will be created. Like in our previous tutorials, we were going to going to incident and creating new, right? Rather than doing this, rather than creating a incident in this, end users will be creating it from the service catalog itself. And when the end user has the ability to create an incident, problem, change, or the service catalog, that particular service catalog is known as record producer. Okay. The last one is order items. Order items is basically to create or edit a standard group of related items, okay, allowing the end users to easily order these items in one request. For example, you are trying to purchase a laptop, and then you feel that you want mouse and you want a headphone with it. Okay, so you need not place 3 catalog items as such. What you can do, you can bundle it into one catalog item, and that is called as order item. So you can order at one shot these 3 things. Okay, that is also provided in the service catalog, and that is termed as order items. Okay, let me go and show you how it looks like. So all the catalog items, everything is available in maintain items. Okay, if you can see here, this is coming under service catalog. Okay, and if you click on maintain items, you will have all the catalog items which is available, all the catalogs. It could be catalog item, it could be record producer, or anything for that matter out here. Okay, how do you distinguish it? By the class. So if I will say, I'm just clicking on the filter condition and giving an or and saying class. Okay, so class is the multiple things. The major important ones are order guide, record producer, and the service item. Important. Others are just a byproduct of things like composite record producer is a byproduct of record producer and other things. Okay. So you will have video conferencing, you will have multiple things which is available out here. Let me click all. Okay. And type class is record producer. Okay. So you would have multiple record producers which you use. You can have ask a question, you can have incident creation, create an incident, which is used a lot. Okay, create an incident is used a lot. So you'll have multiple record producers as such. Similarly, you will have order guide and multiple things. So these are maintained in the catalog items. Okay, so let's go for request fulfillment. So once you have used service catalog and you placed an order, okay, you submitted and you placed an order, then the request has to be fulfilled, right? The request has to be approved, and you at the end have to have an incident created, or you should get a laptop, or you should get a laptop and accessories at the end of the whole process, right? So that is called as request fulfillment or request management process. So request fulfillment is a part of request management process, because the first step of request management is submit, the user, the end user will submit the request, and then it has to be approved by someone. And once it's approved by whatever you guys have, at the end of the request will be fulfilled by the request is the request is assigned to that person is called as request fulfiller as such. Okay. So request management is a process that immediately follows the submission of the request in the service catalog. As I said, once the request is submitted, the request has to be approved. Whoever approves the request is called as request approvers, and at the end it will go to request fulfillers, who are fulfilling the requirement or completing the requirement as such. Okay. Here we'll be discussing the life cycle of okay. The first thing is submittal, that is submitting. Okay, so the customer, the end user will go and browse the catalog, select the item, whatever item they want to select, out the form, whatever forms it's there, and click on submit button. Once the request has been submitted, it will go to the approvals. Okay, so the whoever is in the approvers list will be notified that what, you have got an approval request, and now the approvers can either approve the request or reject the request. Once it is approved, only then it will go to fulfillment cycle. Okay, the fulfillment phase. The fulfillment phase is to locate the tasks and perform the tasks. Whatever the work we have to perform, they will be performing, updating the task, basically updating the request items, and then it will go for the next phase, that is closing of all the task and request items and request and everything. Okay. So basically a request, whatever we said, request fulfillment process or request management process. The first item which what it will have is request or an REQ. Okay. REQ is again a table in the ServiceNow. Okay. First is request, which will happen as soon as you click on submitting a request. Okay. And from the service catalog. The next one which is created is RITM, or the requested item. Request is the parent and RITM is a child, kind of a thing. Okay. And the manager has to approve, or whoever is an approver, has to approve the RITMs, and only then will be given to the fulfiller. Now, the fulfiller can actually work with RITM itself, the requested item itself, or RITM itself, or they can create an SC task, which is the child of RITM. Okay, and they can work on it and complete all the tasks. Okay, so here is just an example what we have shown. Okay, so once all the tasks are completed, the RITM task will be completed, then RITM will be closed, and then REQ will be closed. Okay. If the task is not created or was not required, only RITM is enough, or the RITM is enough, then the RITM is closed and automatically the REQ is closed, the request is closed. Okay. This is how it will look like. Okay. So now for submitting a request or service catalog, what we have to do is we have to go to portal. Okay, you have to type portal and you have to go to service portal home. When you click on service portal home, it will open in a new tab altogether. Okay, and then you have to click on request something. You can click out here I'll show you other ways also of doing it. Okay. And then what I will do is, let's go with this. I want to order an Apple iPad 3. Okay. I'll click here. Okay. It is saying that this is the one, and I will say how many items are required. I only need one iPad, and size is the delivery time, what they're saying. So I can add it to the cart. Okay. If I add to the cart, it will be added to the cart here. Okay, and you can see view cart. So this is basically like how you shop, right? It's in a similar way. You can continue shopping, you can clear the shopping. By continue the shopping, it means that you can add many more things also. Okay, and then proceed to checkout, and then just check out. Okay, once you check out, it basically has submitted the request, and this is the request number. As I said, your REQ number. Let me go back to my slide. The REQ number is created. Okay, and RITM, the RITM, will automatically be created. Now it's in fulfillment stage. So if I click here, it will say waiting for approval. It is approved and it is in fulfillment stage. And then it will go to awaiting delivery, configuration, and delivery and completed. This is the whole process which will go. Okay. You can click on requests and see that all the requests you have done. Okay. Okay. So this was a request. So if I click on the request again, I can see what is the status of it. Okay. So if I'll copy this request, and I'll just show you the way how it, let me go back and show you how we can create in different way. Rather than clicking on the home page, we can just click out here also, and we can click on browse by category. So basically I clicked on catalog and browse by category, and then I clicked on can I help you? Can we help you? Okay. So here what I'm seeing is basically a record producer mostly. Okay. So if I click on an incident, create an incident. So you can see the urgency and you can see the description of your issue. Okay. Let me just fill the urgency like a medium and say that testing the service catalog. If you can see here below, there are a few orders which we can place. It is just the knowledge base which opened based on my um, description, what I have given here. Okay. Let me submit it. Okay. So here is the work notes or the activity list which can be seen here. You can, the customer can anytime click on request and go to their incident and just type want to know the status. Okay, post, and this will be given, this will be shown to the technician or whoever is this incident is assigned to, and whoever is working on this incident as such. Okay, and actions can be, you can automatically by yourself click on resolve, stating that, you know what, I tried it and it got resolved. And you can attach few screenshots, anything you want to attach. So it is very user friendly as such. Okay, now if I go back to my backend, this is my backend. Okay, this is the portal and this is my backend for me. So if I go to my incidents first, I'll just see my incident, whether I have all the incidents. I'll click all. See, the first incident, if you're seeing the first incident, that is the one which we have created, right? Okay. And here, want to know the status. So this is how easily end user can create an incident as such. Okay. Now we will go to the we want to see the request management. The first thing you have to understand is the request table. So service catalog will have requests. If I click on requests, the number was 1001, I think. Yeah, it was 1001. And I remembered it, but you can just go to requests and you can see your number here. Okay. And then I will see that, you know what, one RITM is present here. I'll click on that RITM. Okay. It's in the fulfillment. I'll go down and I'll see that one catalog task is automatically created. So these are created by the workflow. If I'll say show workflow, you will see that this particular thing is automatically attached. Okay, and automatically it is running. See? So once the approval happens, if the procurement is turned on, then a catalog task is created. Okay, once this catalog task is completed, then another task will be created, which is awaiting delivery, receiving item. And then one more catalog task will be created, that is configuration of the configure item. Okay, so this is a workflow which is already written in the service now. It will just automatically run. So you can see in which stage it is in. Okay, let me open this catalog and I'll close this catalog task. Okay. Once this catalog task is closed, as you can see, the next catalog task is automatically attached. Okay, once I close this task, it's a receive item. So the configuration of the item will start, okay? Because it's an iPhone, so the configuration also has to happen. So this is automatically getting created, guys. We are not creating any tasks, right? So this is how the workflow is already assigned and given in the service now as an out of box thing. And now I will deliver this to the customer. This is again, this catalog task can be assigned to someone else also, and it can be done by you itself or by the whoever is a request fulfiller as such. Okay. Once everything is closed, even the RITM is automatically closed. See, it completed by itself. So this is how the request happens. Request management happens. Let me go to my request and let me click on this. See, it is saying it's completed. My whole process is completed as such. Okay. So this is how the request fulfillment happens. Now, incident, we saw record producer also, that incidents will not normally happening. And once the incident is created, then you have to go in the normal incident management process as such. Now, let us see an order guide. Example of an order guide. Okay. Maintain items. Click on it. Let me say all. And then let me click class is okay. Search. So order guide, as remember, it's a composition of multiple catalog items. So new hire. Okay, we'll just try first developer, project equipment. You can try this also. Okay. So this is how an order guide from backend looks like. So whatever questions you're seeing there are actually written here. See, are you developing the Android iOS? What software do you require, etc., etc. Okay. So let's take this and maybe see how it looks like. Okay, I'm copying it. I'm going to the front end. Then I click home. Then I'll click request something. Can we help? I can search it out here also, guys. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Go to catalog again. Browse by categories. Okay, we have new hire here. It's empty. So the category was not there. That's why it was not coming up. Okay. I'll take new hire. Okay. So this is also a order guide. If you can see here, the below one. And it was there in Can We Help You? And that's the reason why I clicked Can We Help You and search for new hire as such. Okay. Okay. So hiring manager could be anything. What group you're joining? I'll say IT. Will this be a remote employee? I'll say yes. Okay. Will your employer need anything non-standard? No. I'll click next. So if you're seeing what is it including, whoever is new hire, what do they need? They may need a standard laptop, they may need an external monitor, they obviously need a new email account. Corp VPNs we may need, and you can actually click on this and make it, I don't need it for now. Okay, I don't need a corp VPN for now. And if you see star here, basically it means that it's mandatory field. Okay, you need a new email account. Every new hire will need an email account. Okay, next. So preferred email address. Let me just give Mind Magix test. Yeah. And then I'll do next at gmail.com. Next. Oops, it accepts it. Okay. So it will say that what are the things which is included. If there is a cost for it, it will show the cost. If not, then it will just say blank, and it will say Corp VPN. We just said not included. So it is not included, and we can click order now. So you have ordered 3 catalog items. It is standard laptop, external monitor, and new email account. Those were the catalog items in one order guide at one time. So that is what is order guide. Okay, and check out. So this is the request number. Okay, let's go back and again click on requests. Okay, so this is the one. It is pending approval. Okay, if you go down, there are 3 RITM created, obviously, right? For each item, there is a new RITM created. One for external monitor, one for standard laptop, one for new email account. And here you will have the approver, who is the approver for it. And here there is a group approvals if needed. Okay, so this is the approver, who is a Eric. Let's copy his name. Okay, and then I will impersonate user, search for the user. Basically that user has to do by himself, but I'm doing a test, so I'm doing directly. So if you can see, here is the request which has to be approved by him. So I'll just click and click on approve. Okay, so you can accept or deny the email creation. You can accept or deny the laptop which you were thinking of giving that person. Okay, I'll just approve everything. Okay, and then I will end impersonation. Now I will go to the requests. Okay, see, it is approved now. Okay, now we have 3 request items. I will go to the first one. I'm just opening into the new tab, guys. Okay, and seeing, okay, when we have one task created, So I'll just click on the task and approve it and close the task. Okay, this is the preferred email address. I'll say yes, this is okay. And I'll say just receive item. There will be I think four tasks, which is created, which was created at last time also, right? And then this is the one. Close the task. And deliver to customer, and then again close the task. Okay, automatically this will be completed. So this is how all the RITMs have to be completed, and once all the RITMs are completed, the whole request item will be closed. If you see here, it will be ticked as soon as everything is completed. Okay, let's go for the standard laptop, and I'll just click for the external monitor also. And you can similarly, you'll see here, we can close it. Okay, there are different catalog items created for different needs, and everything is handled in the workflow. Okay, I'll just close everything. I'll just click here and I will show you one more thing, which is cancel request. Okay, if I cancel the request, the whole thing will be canceled. Okay, now let me go to my request summary and let me see how it looks like in the request. The whole thing was canceled. Yeah. Okay. So here you'll see request canceled and it will be closed. Okay. So this is how the whole request fulfillment management works, or request management works actually. So with that, we'll go for the next slide, which is a data structure. We already covered the data structure, but still we will just be recovering it. I'll just close this portal. Okay. So the first thing is task is the parent table for request, requested item, and catalog task. Okay. All these three tables are having the parent table as task. Okay. Now request is the one which we saw. The first one was request, right? This is the request. And this is the parent. And here you can have multiple request items associated with one request, or you can have just one request item associated with one request. Okay. Now request item, request will have the workflow, it will have the requested for, it will have the request, and many other fields associated with it. Whatever you're seeing here, that is string, currency, etc., are the data types for it. Okay. Now requested items, again, these are the fields and these are the data types for it. One request items can have multiple catalog tasks, as we have seen already, right? So one request item can have multiple tasks, catalog tasks, right, associated with it. Okay, fine. Okay. Let me click on my request so that you can see much more things if possible. Okay. Yeah. So we can only see the open request. So that's the reason why you're only seeing this particular request. So with that, we have completed the request management, and we'll go for the next topic, that is knowledge management. Okay. So till now, we have completed the configuration management. We have completed the request management. And now we will start with the knowledge management. Okay. 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 So let's start with the knowledge management. So it is a process of creating, sharing, using, and managing knowledge information of an organization. For example, you have a process document process document, or a knowledge article which you want to say how to do a certain thing, or what is the certain applications, or anything which you want to share with your organization or to your team or some other projects. Those kind of knowledge is maintained in the knowledge management as such. So a data or information and a knowledge, so this could be an informative kind of an article, or it could be a data, um, it could be a data, it could be an information, or it could be knowledge. Those can be stored or linked in the knowledge articles. By linked, it means that sometimes you will have a PDF, or sometimes you have a PPT, which is a very huge PPT. So at that time, you have to link that particular PPT by storing it in your wiki page or in your company, some other page, SharePoint or something. You save it there and you give the link in your knowledge article. Okay, you can do it in that way also. So now the knowledge articles should be within the knowledge bases. The knowledge basis is kind of category. What is that knowledge article? uh, which category does this knowledge article belong to? So that is a knowledge base as such. Okay, so multiple knowledge base can be created for different groups in the organization. For example, you may have a COE team, the Center of Excellence team, who is creating some best practices knowledge articles. Okay, so the knowledge base can be the COE team, or it could be the governance. It could be written as the name as governance, and you can have knowledge articles inside the knowledge base, which could be like how to do this flow designer properly, how to do the best practices of using the incident management, or anything like that. Okay, how to create your own scoped application. So these kind of things can be stored as a knowledge article, and everyone in the organization can check it out. It could be in everyone's information, or it could be shared within a small group of information people. Okay, so it all depends on the accesses what the particular to give to team or a person wants to have on the knowledge article as such. Okay, so let's go to the key roles. The key roles are, the first role is process owner. So process owner is the one who will define the whole knowledge management process in your organization. Okay, so process owner can be one person or a group of individuals who are a group of team, or team who is working as process owners as such. Okay, knowledge manager is the person who he or she can be a manager particular project, or team lead, or anyone who is the content, who will check the content as such, like what kind of knowledge articles you have created, is it valid, can it be approved. So the review kind of concepts is by the knowledge manager. Okay? Knowledge contributor. Knowledge contributor are the authors who are writing the knowledge articles. Okay, so those are called as knowledge contributors. The last role is knowledge user. So a person who uses this knowledge in day-to-day activity, it could be a day-to-day activity, it could be in days, maybe weekly, you're checking this knowledge and you're using it or somewhere. So whoever uses this particular knowledge is which in your organization is called as knowledge user. Okay. So these are the 4 roles what you have knowledge management as such. Management life cycle. Okay, so the first stage of the knowledge management life cycle is a draft. Okay, so you have to create a knowledge article from existing record, or draft a new article from the scratch. Okay, either you would have written it, either you would have written it in a Word document, or in maybe you are having it in somewhere in your mail. So you have to draft it in your new article, or it could be that you have an existing knowledge article, you are extending that knowledge article, making version 2 of that knowledge article. So that could be the draft state. Okay, Then stage 2 is the review stage. That means someone has to review the knowledge article what you have written. Okay, request review by relevant knowledge stakeholders who can approve the article for publications. So it could be within your team members, or a governance team, or it could be some approvals team which is there in your organization, and they would be approving this particular request. Okay, is once this request, once this knowledge article has been reviewed and approved, at that time it will be published, and it will at that to everyone, internal or external users, or whomever you have given access to. Okay, till then the knowledge article will only be visible to you and the person whom you have given it to review. Okay, and the last stage is retire. The article could expire on a pre-date or can be manually be retired as such. Okay. So these are the 4 stages of knowledge management life cycle. Okay, we'll go for a demo. Okay, let me go for a demo and show you how knowledge management looks like. Okay, as soon as you type knowledge, you will see that there is this module called knowledge, and there are menus, what you can see here. Okay. Okay, so first we will go for knowledge bases, and we'll see what are knowledge bases already existing in the system. So you will have this is out of box knowledge bases. You will have in your organization many other knowledge bases also. So the title is IT, the description is there, and the owner is there. For each knowledge base, you will have an owner so that they can approve or reject or whatever they want to do, they can do. If you click on IT, okay, there will be some workflows, which is approval workflows and retire workflows, and you will see all the knowledge articles which is associated with this particular knowledge base. Okay, you will have a can read and can contribute. So you can have these like users and groups which you can create and say that, you know what, these groups like problem analyzer and problem solving groups can read concept, and can contribute is only this particular group, which is Acme North, which is a company which is Acme North America. Whoever is working in company Acme North and will have access to um, contributing inside this IT knowledge base. Okay, so you can have your own knowledge base criterias, user criterias, which you can create so that you will know who can read and who can contribute in this particular knowledge base as such. Okay. This is Acme North America department. Okay. Just opening the user criteria and checking out. This is again all the North America employees can actually even read it. Okay. Okay. Click here. Let me say COE or governance. Let me say governance. And let me give the owner. Okay. And save it. So we can see here, knowledge manager role has been given to Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Let's search for a few things and just add it rather than creating by myself. I'll say any user. No. Any user. Okay, you can have it user with some rules also. Okay, so I'm giving can read any user. And can contribute. I'll just say the person who is admin, like system administrator. Okay. Okay. And save it just for me. Okay. Now I will go to the articles. Okay. Again, knowledge. I'll say create new. You can import articles also. First, let me see the create new, and then we will go for importing. Okay. So here we will say governance. If you see here, it's in draft state. Okay, so valid to, as I said you, that you can give any retirement dates out here. Okay, so you can say valid to, and it will be decided that it is valid till 1st of January to 2100. Okay, so you can just delete it. Then it is valid to infinity, and it will be you can manually retire it anytime you want. Okay, I'll just give it till 30th June. And I will say demo my magics testing knowledge. And if you see here, sorry, see here, it's a HTML one. Okay, so you can actually make it bold, italic. Okay, have a table. Okay, test 1, test 2, anything you want to do. You can have a list, or you can have your numbers. Okay, you can do many things out here, whatever you can do as an HTML format. Okay, so I just submitted. This much is enough for me, and I'll just select this so that I'll get mine first. So if you see in the workflow, it is in draft state. Just click it. Okay, so there's no need for any approvals because there's nothing attached to it. So I'll just publish it. Okay, so it is in published state. Now everyone can view this. Okay, and I can click on retire anytime I want. If you want to send someone this KB document, and if there's someone asks what is a KB document as such, you can right click and copy the URL. Okay, and send it across to them. Let me click view article to see how it looked like for everyone else. So this is how it looked for everyone else. If you can see, you can say yes or no whether this particular article was helpful for them or not. They can give that. They can create an incident based on this particular article. Okay, edit option is available only for me because I am the author of it. Otherwise, usually it will not be editable. It will not be editable for others. Okay, and then you can copy the permalink and give this particular link to everyone whoever is asking you for your knowledge. Okay, the link for the knowledge as such. Okay, import articles are also there. Okay, you can import an article from your document. As I said you that you could have written a doc file or something. You can browse files and you can attach the Word document directly out here. Just link to which knowledge base it is associated with and import your whole article. And it will be added as a knowledge article. Really good, right? Okay. So this is how knowledge looks like and how knowledge bases are, how the knowledge articles is looking like. Whatever is your articles, you can see by clicking on my knowledge articles, and you will see what are the knowledge articles associated with it. I have not created any categories, and that's the reason category is empty. You can have few categories also if needed. Okay. Okay. So knowledge data structure. So knowledge data structure is looking like this. Okay. You have a knowledge which will have knowledge base associated with it. So knowledge base and knowledge are not sharing a parent child relationship, but it is just sharing a one to many relationship as such, as shown here. Okay. Now knowledge is having a relationship with feedback. As I said you, that feedback could be helpful or not helpful, and those feedbacks can be added in your knowledge as such. So if I open any knowledge, right, if you go down, you will see that you have feedbacks, right? So feedbacks could be given by the end users or the knowledge users by saying yes, it was helpful or not helpful, or give any feedbacks on that particular thing. FAQ is again a frequently asked questions. It is not directly linked like this, but it is linked out here. Okay. Different concept. Then there is a knowledge, a known error article. That is, this known error article is associated with problem. Basically problem can have known error article, as I explained you in the problem management process. When you have a known error, it could be that you're waiting for the next release of ServiceNow to fix the particular issue, then you can add it as a known error article. Okay. And there's a KCS article also associated with knowledge. Okay. So next concept is knowledge internationalization, basically supporting multiple languages. Okay. This was introduced in New York release. Basically, the published articles can be translated to any other languages manually or automatically by using the machine learning machine translation option. For this, you should have a different plugin altogether. I have given the plugins out here. So you can go to the plugins. And search for this plugin. Okay. Okay. The first plugin is Knowledge Management Advanced. I think that's installed. Okay, so this is a free one, so we can install it. So first, let us install this one first. Okay. So this is the internationalization. So internationalization plugin V2 plugin. Yeah, first we'll install that. Okay. And then go here, then install this. Just close this because this is active now. This is the most important one, okay? Because if this is enabled, this is plugged in, only then the other one will make sense. Okay. Okay, so these two are already installed, so that's enough for us. Okay. Just clicking this. Okay. I don't want this. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, it's just installing few of the advanced like ATFs and everything. Just close this. This is just a guide. I'll close this also, the subscription and feedback one. Okay. So once these plugins are installed, right, you can enable the search for different languages by navigating to enable multi-language search and selecting yes. Okay, we'll try for having that. Okay, close and reload form and then go for still loading. So enabling multi-language search is very rarely used and very few organizations are using it because there are some discrepancies with it and it has to still mature further. But this is a feature which you can use by installing the plugins and going to the knowledge properties as such, okay? I don't want to do that and that's the reason why I'm not going there and doing it. Okay. So I am just directly searching it from the system properties, guys. rather than clicking it from the navigator. So if you see here, this is the enable multi-language search. It is set to false, and once you click it on true, then it will be enabled to search it. Okay, not doing that right now, but you can, if your organization requires it, you can just turn it on to make it true and go for it. Okay. Okay. With that, we have completed the knowledge management as such, and we are going to the SLA, or the service level management. Okay, as service level management is very much associated with the incident management, because that is where we are associating our how much time we will require to complete a certain task as such. Okay, and we measure that particular completion of the task with the time. Okay, so let's start. The service level management, or the SLM, it specifies the target times for how long a task should take, and then use a graphical workflow to trigger the notification reminders or perform the automatic actions. For example, you have an incident which is a critical incident, and your company has come upon an agreement with the clients, okay, that the critical incidents will only take 6 hours to complete. Then that is your SLA. Okay, so if you get an incident, if your team gets an incident, or any team gets an incident in your organization, and if it is written in that, in the contract, that all the teams have to abide to it, then everyone has to have 6 hours. But if there could be some teams who are very, very critical, like and would require to solve an incident within 1 hour if it's a critical incident. So your team is getting a time of 1 hour to finish the whole incident, okay, the whole incident process. It should go in the resolve state. If it will not go to the resolve state within 1 hour, then it will be treated as a breach. So you have breached the SLA. Okay, and breaching an SLA could compound to the financial losses also. It could be that in the contract it would have been written that if you breach 5 or 6 incidents, that's okay, but after that it will be penalized, the company will be penalized on that. Okay, so these are the contracts which is written in between your organization and the customer whom you are providing the service to as such. Okay. So in the SLA process, after each cycle, like you can get an automatic mails or anything that, you know what, you're reaching near the breach amount, breach time and everything. You can go, you can get some notifications in that way. Okay. Now the SLA, that is service level agreement engine in ServiceNow, monitors effectiveness by comparing how long it takes to move between two conditions against a predefined goal. The main focus is on measuring time. As I discussed, the SLA agreement has to be to see how much time we have actually taken to complete the task. Okay, so SLA definition, we can go to SLA definition directly by typing SLA. Okay, so this is where the SLA definitions are added. Okay, for example, you have a priority 1 incident. So as I said, the resolution for 1 incident is 1 hour. Now there's a difference between response and resolution. Okay, if you see the priority 1 itself, okay, so priority 1 response 15 minutes. That means someone, if you get a priority 1 incident and it is assigned to your team, so your team has only 15 minutes to respond and have someone assigned to it. So the assigned to field has to be filled as soon as the priority 1 ticket comes in, and within 15 minutes of it, 15 minutes of the time when it is assigned to your group, there should be someone assigned to it, a user assigned to it. Now, resolution means resolving that particular user, only that particular person whom the incident is assigned to has only 1 hour to resolve the whole incident. Otherwise, the SLA will breach. So similarly, for priority 2, it is 8 hours, and you can respond the incident within 1 hour, and similarly there are different SLAs, okay, associated with it. Now for this is an out of box which is given, and for each organization that could be different. Maybe for you, for your organization, the priority one resolution need not be 1 hour. It could be 4 hours also, it could be 2 hours also. It depends on your contracts, what you have signed as such. Okay. So whenever we say that when an SLA starts, it creates a record in task SLA table, which is a reference to the SLA and task. So whenever you see an incident, right? If I go to the incident, I'll go for all incidents. If you open any incident, right, there would be an SLA associated with it based on the urgency. Okay, so if you go down and see that there is an SLA attached to it, and this is a task SLA table. This is a related list, and here we have this task SLA associated with it. This is again a table. Okay, so you will have a SLA attached to it. Where did they get that SLA? They got it from SLA definition. How did they get it? They saw what is the priority. The priority is 4. So therefore, they attached a priority 4 SLA to that. Okay, and it shows how much time has been elapsed. 47 minutes have already been elapsed, and this is the percentage how much it is elapsed to, how many days it is left. Everything will be shown in this particular related list. Okay, let's go to SLA definition. Click on SLA definition. I'll open it and show you also. Okay. So details of SLA. I'll just open the SLA, one of the SLAs, so that we can check it out. Okay. So in this SLA definition, you will see that to which table this particular SLA is associated with. And we said it is associated with an incident. Okay. Now the duration is given out here. You can give 2 or 3 or whatever. Accordingly, the resolution time increases or decreases. Okay. Okay. You can give duration, or you can give business days, or you can give there are some criterias which you can choose from. Okay. Here you can have a resolution or a response. We discussed how the response is and what resolution is. Okay. Now, as I was saying, that there are different conditions for an SLA, that is a start, stop, and pause. We will be describing on that. So first is start condition. When should this SLA start? The SLA will start when the incident is active and when the incident's priority is critical. Okay. When it is set to start is when it is created. You can have different if you want to set the start to from the due date or from the open, when it is resolved, it's your wish. You can start it from that time. Okay. It depends on your business. It also depends on your contract as such. Okay. I'll discuss about the retroactive start and retroactive pause in just a minute. We'll have a pause condition also. When can it be on pause? When will the SLA will be on pause and it will not be running? It is, so here it is given that when the incident is on hold and the hold reason is awaiting caller, or when the incident state is resolved. So if the incident state is resolved, if the incident is resolved, or if the incident is on hold and you're waiting for a caller, at that time this particular SLA will be paused. Okay. And that time the SLA will not be, the clock will not be running as such. So there's a breather for you at that time. Stop condition. When the SLA count will totally be stopped, like it will not be counting anymore, is when the state of the incident is closed. Okay, there's a reset condition also out here. There is, they just gave reset action as cancel existing task SLA. At that time, the whole thing will be resetted. Okay, let's go back. As I said the reset condition, it is not in the form by default. This will clear the elapsed time if the condition is met, meaning the timer will start from 0 again, as a reset means. Okay. Pause condition, as I said the timer does not increment while the pause condition is met. Okay, so here we have given an example also. The start conditions becomes true at 9. Okay, so current timer is 0. At 9:05, the pause condition becomes true. Maybe you have kept it on hold and are waiting for the caller. So the current timer is 5 minutes. Pause condition is no longer true. After 5 minutes, the user responds and the on hold condition will again go back to the in progress. So now it is 9:10 and the current timer is 5 minutes. If you see, it should have been 10, but it will not go to 10 because the pause condition was true for 5 minutes, so it will become in 5 minutes only. And stop condition becomes true. Maybe you have found the resolution and you have resolved it, and the user confirmed that yes, the issue is resolved, and you have closed that incident at 9:15. So the total amount of time you have spent on that incident is 10 minutes. Okay, from 10 to 15. Yeah. So example we have given as priority based SLA. I have already shown you one priority based SLA. Now retroactive start. Okay, so it could have happened that you went through the incident in your team, and once you went through the incident, you felt that this particular incident should not, after 10-15 minutes you felt that, you know what, this particular incident does not belong to you, your team. It is the issue of some other team. um, so you give your conclusions that, you know what, I checked this particular system, this particular applications in my team, and everything is working fine. Could you check from your end? Yeah. At that time, at that time, that particular incident will be assigned to some other assignment group as such. So the retroactive start means that how much of a time you have elapsed, right? So, the new SLA will not be attached to that particular team. Instead, it will start from the SLA will start from the time it was assigned to you itself. It will not start from the time it is assigned to the other assignment group. So it will calculate the whole thing. So this again depends on the contract what you have signed for. Okay. Again, here we're showing the schedulers, how the schedulers will work, how the schedules are. Okay. Is basically to see what kind of timing you're working in, whether it's a 24/7 shift, or whether it's a US shift, or whether it's a pack shift, Europe shift. So you can select which shift you are working in. Accordingly, in the SLA definition, you can specify it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Which time zone you are dealing with, which schedule you want. It's not opening. What schedule do you want? So SLA will run 24/7. So you can define any other schedules if you want to. Okay. So the next slide is dealing with the SLA types. So we right now spoke about service level agreement, which is between the IT organization and the client or the end user. Okay, there is another agreement which is OLA, that is operation level agreement, which is between the IT departments. It could be that the databases are handled by another organization or another department altogether. So another department altogether. So what is a contract between the two IT departments is known as OLA. Underpinning contract is a contract between the IT organization and the suppliers. Okay, so these are the three types of SLA what we are talking about. So all the SLA definitions can be added out here. Okay, there is one underpinning contract out of box what we have out here. So it is for the contract resolution. There are a few start conditions, pause conditions. This is just an example. Okay, this is for an configuration item altogether. Okay. Yeah. So basically, it's an underpinning contract. You have three kind of types: SLA, OLA, and underpinning contract. Okay. So again, if you see here, the start condition is if the incident is having configuration item as storage area network, then an underpinning contract will be associated with that particular incident, and that underpinning contract is this, okay, which is of 3.5 hours of schedule. Okay, let's go ahead. We have discussed about response and resolution SLA. I'll just go through it out here. So response SLA, during this procedure, the SLA runs when a specific ticket is allocated to a group or a manager. That is, once a ticket is assigned to a particular group or individual, the SLA starts running. The user receives notification that their ticket has been assigned to a specific individual or a group. It's basically a group, and you have to respond to it, like I have started working on it, or this is assigned to person, and then the response SLA will be stopped. Okay. Resolution SLA, the time when a client initially opens access and when it is resolved is typically referred as resolution time. So basically, when the client has opened an incident until the time when the ticket is marked as resolved, it is treated as resolution SLA sometimes. Okay. Sometimes people treat it as closed also. Okay. If the status is closed, it is basically purely based on your contract with your customer as such. So response SLA, unlike ticket responses, calculate the due dates based on the status of the tickets. Based on the task priorities, you can establish the ticket response times. Okay. I have given the incident response SLA and this resolution SLA's demo already. So with that, we have completed all the topics what we have planned for it. So I have covered every fundamental concept of ServiceNow in our these tutorials, in the previous tutorials, and a little practice of everything you have learned in this video course will add value to your career. Thank you and keep learning.